I was brought up with Christianity in my childhood, and then I strayed. And so like in a nutshell, I just kind of in the last 5 years have like made my way back and have a different understanding than maybe when I was a kid. Because I think when you're a kid, you're like, or at least for me, it was like we just go to church because that's what we have to do. And you know, I didn't have actual profound questions that I want answered like I do now. And so I think as an adult, you get to have a different understanding of that. And so that's kind of what, you know, how I in a weird artsy way just kind of came back. And the last 5 years have just been studying the Bible, and now like at this church, like we have our women's Bible study and stuff that I attend, and
you guys have a meeting you go to, right? I watched another podcast that you were on.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I heard you talk about it anyway. That you guys have a Bible study each week.
Yeah. And you know, I think I'm going to always have questions and continue to want to learn and have deeper understandings of things. And so, but in that podcast that you probably watched, like I talk about like a little bit what you said. It's like we're trying to find meaning or want to feel again, you know. And I think there's a lot of temporary fixes, or you know, like you know, I used to. Like I was an addict, and I'll have 17 years sober in July.
Wow!
And so, you know, I feel like those are all things that kind of like lead you in that direction.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, you know, it's such an intimate and personal thing. Like my relationship with God is my own, and I've never really felt like I belonged anywhere. Like, especially now, I think like being public with my faith puts you into like this microscopic critical tank, you know, and so I get criticized from all sides now, which I don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm you know, my relationship's with God, not you, but
right.
But it is interesting. I feel like now it just becomes funny, like some of the comments I get.
Yeah,
I think because people have a hard time understanding the aesthetic and pairing that with something, which
your
is
aesthetic, you mean?
Yeah,
right. The ambiance of you, and then pairing it
in Christianity, and it's so silly to me. And like I don't understand how people don't see how close-minded that is, you know, and how like why would you think that you have to look a certain way to have an understanding of the Bible, you know?
Yeah,
or you know.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I think it's a lot of that. There's a lot of interesting stuff there, you know.
Yeah, but like I do, but you know, so
I mean, there's a lot to think about in all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
like one time I went to like a Jordan Peterson lecture, and my husband and I were like the only people that looked like us there. But I was
black people. You mean
what?
You mean black people?
No, we don't. I just like, and I don't want to diss on like Jordan's fan base, but I feel like everybody had their own uniform, you know, like there was just rows of people in front of me, and they all kind of dressed the same.
Really, yeah.
And I was like, man, for people, and I'm not judging or criticizing, but you would think that like free thinkers would, or maybe they just don't care. I don't know. Like, so the church I go to is like a really small church, and it's there's not enough people to have a running trend or anything like that. But when I went to like a big church in California recently, I looked around, and it's like a lot of people have the same style. And so I realized that maybe because like modern day Christians are so used to being surrounded by people that look the same as them, when someone like me comes into the mix, it's like, oh wait, this is demonic, or this is because I get called demonic a lot, or this is like, you know, you're serving two masters, and I'm like, I don't think any of that is accurate. You know, I don't think you have to. There's no dress code to be a Christian.
Yeah.